Hey everybody, it's Dan Phelps with Learning Smoke back again with you today, and today I'm going to be doing a dessert. I mean, we do mains, we do sides here, but can't forget dessert. I'm sharing with you a special recipe. It's my mom's apple pie recipe that she handed down to me, and we're going to put it on the smoker. So we're going to add a little twist to it by throwing it on the smoker today, and I'm going to walk you through the steps. I love this smoked apple pie recipe because it has that taste of home. It has the apples, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. You can make it in the fall, you can make it in the winter time, you can make it for holidays, Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter. You can make it in the summertime. It's an apple pie. You can make it whenever you want. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you think about this recipe and what else you want to see in the future. Now let's make pie. First things first, I'm going to start up my grill. I'm actually going to be using my Yoder Smoker YS640. I'm going to get this cranked up to 425 degrees. And keep in mind, this is indirect heat here, and I'm going to be using a mix of hickory and cherry woods today. And your smoker is ready when you have that thin blue smoke rolling there. Now here's the ingredients I'm going to be using to make my apple pie. And first off, I'm going to take these apples that I've got, and I'm going to start peeling them. And I'm going to use a potato peeler to peel these off. If you have your own methods, great, but I find this works great for me. Now you don't want the peels left on the apple because when you're eating it afterward in the pie, it's just going to give a different type of chew to it. You're not going to be able to bite through it as well, so you want to make sure to get off all the skin, off all the, or the peel I should say, off all of the apple. And for this recipe I'm using 5 apples, and you'll notice that these apples are about a regular size here. Nothing too large, nothing too small, but just right. So I'd say average size apples, use 5 of them. And so clean up all the shavings there from the peel. And then I've got my apple slicer, which helps out a lot. Now this one slices into 16 slices, which I think is perfect because these smaller slices are going to go much better in the apple pie than the bigger ones, because that way you get more apple distributed per bite in the pie. And as far as these dry ingredients go, I'm using 1 cup of sugar. I got 3 tablespoons here of cornstarch, a half teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and about a half teaspoon of nutmeg here. And I'm going to mix this all up. You're going to want to make sure to mix these dry ingredients well because you don't want to have clumps of cornstarch in there in one spot of the pie compared to the others. But anyway, use a whisk, that helps too. I like to combine the apples here with the dry ingredients. You're going to mix those together. And we're going to mix these together until it starts to form that pie filling. You start to develop that glaze. You get the juice from the apples start to combine with the dry ingredients, and so it starts to form that glaze or that filling, or whatever you want to call it. Use some cooking spray to spray the pie tin, so that way it's easier to scoop the pie out when you're done cooking it. And we're also going to use some pie crust, pre-made, because that's easier. Feel free to make your own pie crust, but as for me in my house, we use a pre-made pie crust because, well, it's super simple and saves you a lot of time. But I need to find a recipe to make some pie crust. I guess I should try that sometime. But anyway, I'm going to line that pie crust there in the pie tin. And now I'm going to spoon in all my apple pie filling that I've created. And spoon it in very slowly. And then I also like to kind of mix it around because you'll get some of those apple slices that'll stick up. And I don't want it to poke through the top layer of the apple pie crust I'm going to put on here. So I'm going to put this second one on now that I've got it all laid down flat, the apple slices that is. And I'm going to use 2 thumbs there, and I'm going to just put the indent on the end. That's how I seal up my pie crust on the ends. You can do it some other fancy way. You can use forks, you can use whatever fun method you've got, but for me, just doing the 2-thumb method there, side by side, helps out. And make sure to cut off the excess. So I'm cutting off the excess that goes over the edge of the pie tin, and I'm just going to make sure that it looks more even and more uniform. And I'm now going to cut some slits in the pie. Now, don't judge me. I'm not a baker. But I do know that you want to cut slits in the pie so that way the pie can help breathe. So that way it doesn't just steam up too much inside the pie. And it doesn't just come leaking out the sides or just create random cracks in the top there. So we're going to cut in some slits. And you want to try and make them look fancy. Or you can. I'm trying to. But anyway, like I said, just make sure you cut those slits in the pie so they can help the pie cook better. And now I'm going to make an egg wash, and I'm going to use an egg. Going to crack that into this little bowl here I've got. And I'm also going to take about a 1/4 teaspoon of water, and then I'm going to use my fork, and I'm going to beat that up and mix it all together. Now, I know some people like to take the egg yolk out and just use egg white. That's fine too, but I've had success just doing the whole egg yolk as well. So you can do it either way. I find keeping the egg yolk on makes it look a little more golden when you're cooking it. And now we're going to brush that on evenly as possible. And we're gonna put that on the yoder because it's ready at 425 degrees. And we're gonna let this cook for about 40 to 45 minutes. And we're just gonna let the smoke and the heat just do its thing. Some of y'all may be wondering, hey Dan Phelps, why'd you put that apple pie on the top rack and not on the bottom rack? Well, the reason I put it on the top rack is because with this grill, the heat source does come from the bottom left on the Yoder smoker. A lot of pellet grills are going to have the heat source come from directly underneath. And so I like to put it on the top shelf because I want to make sure that I don't burn the bottom of the pie. Because putting it on the top shelf is going to create more space between the heat source and the pie itself. And that way I'm not going to burn the bottom of the pie. That said, we're going to let it cook for about 40 to 50 minutes. We'll come back and check it out later. 40 minutes have now gone by, so I'm checking the apple pie here. So what I like to do is take a fork and just poke some of the apples through the slits there. And if you can poke through those apples with ease, then it's done. So I'm going to pull this off and let it rest. I'm going to let this rest for at least an hour. And now it's going to be time to cut into this thing. I'm going to cut 8 slices. Don't judge me on the evenness of the pie slices. But the beauty of that is that you get some large slices too, and you can save the small slices for all your kids if you want. But I'm going to take a large slice of this out, and I'm going to throw it on my plate. Now, look at this. I wish I had a better angle of it, but I'm telling you, it looks really good. It smells really good. I wish you could smell this video, but that's for another technology for another day, I guess. I'm going to put some vanilla bean ice cream on there on the side, and now I'm going to take it outside and get back in front of the camera. All right, now the apple pie has been made. It's been rested. I let it sit for at least an hour or so to let it cool down before I dig in. Got some pie right here, so let's try it out. Do you like ice cream or do you like whipped cream with your pie? Let me know in the comments. Absolutely, without a doubt, number one. It is a fantastic pie. There is no denying that. This is Dan Phelps signing off, saying hope your days are filled with good times, good friends, and good barbecue. All right, now I'm going to finish this pie. You can watch me eat it, or you can make your own. Your choice. I wish you could smell this, and I wish you could taste this. For real. Want more recipes that you can cook on your grill or your smoker? Make sure to check out my website at learningtosmoke.com. And thanks for watching.